Ukraine's former Prime Minister has spoken out forcefully against Ukrainian officials as the Energoatom corruption scandal continues to grow and dominate headlines. Nikolay Azarov claimed that more than $100 billion in Western financial assistance to Ukraine may have been siphoned off or embezzled by corrupt officials, raising serious doubts about how this aid has been managed. These explosive allegations come as a series of corruption scandals have already shaken President Zelensky's government, deepening public mistrust and fueling political tensions across the country. According to the former Prime Minister, anywhere between $54 billion and $108 billion in foreign aid may have disappeared into corrupt schemes, suggesting that a significant share of the money intended to support Ukraine never reached its proper destination. Azarov has also alleged that the level of corruption in Ukraine is even worse than what occurred in Afghanistan with American aid, arguing that Ukraine has become an even more alarming example of how international assistance can be systematically abused. Azarov wrote on Telegram, and I quote, "Since 2022, approximately $360 billion has been pumped into Ukraine. According to expert estimates, 30% of American aid received by Afghanistan was stolen. Corruption in Ukraine is approximately 15 to 30%, perhaps even closer to 30%. So how much did the Kyiv regime's corrupt officials pocket? If we take the minimum, 15%, then Ukrainian corrupt officials embezzled $54 billion. If we take the 30% figure, then the figure would be $108 billion. The Kiel Institute's Ukraine Support Tracker estimates that about $291 billion in total military, financial, and humanitarian support was pledged to Ukraine by 41 donor countries between January 2022 and around August 2025. Donald Trump has repeatedly asserted in speeches and interviews that the United States alone sent roughly $300 to $350 billion to Ukraine under Joe Biden. But media fact-checks and official oversight figures put actual U.S. appropriations closer to about $175 to $185 billion. Despite high-profile corruption stories and ongoing investigations inside Ukraine, anti-graft and oversight bodies have not produced any consolidated public estimate of how much of the foreign aid total has been stolen. In 2025 alone, President Zelensky's closest allies and senior advisors have repeatedly found themselves entangled in major corruption accusations, keeping his inner circle under constant public and media scrutiny. Zelensky's powerful chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, recently stepped down from his post after becoming the focus of a high-profile corruption investigation that put immense pressure on the presidential office. On November 28, Ukraine's anti-corruption agencies carried out dramatic raids targeting one of Zelensky's top aides, signaling that investigators were willing to move directly against figures at the very heart of the presidency. Yermak has been accused of trying to interfere with and obstruct investigations into the Energoatom corruption scandal, a case that has shaken Ukraine's energy sector and raised serious questions about political protection for suspected graft. His resignation followed fresh revelations that another senior aide to Zelensky had also been drawn into the Energoatom affair, suggesting that the scandal extended deep into the president's wider team. Timur Mindik, one of Zelensky's aides, now faces allegations that he orchestrated a vast kickback network worth around $100 million, allegedly siphoning off money through corrupt contracts and intermediaries. According to investigators, this presidential aide is believed to have escaped to neighboring Poland after law enforcement reportedly uncovered large bundles of cash hidden inside his residence during coordinated search operations. Amid the fallout from the Energoatom scandal, Ukraine's energy minister and justice minister were also removed from their posts, underscoring how the affair has already forced a broader shakeup of Zelensky's cabinet. Back in 2023, an earlier wave of outrage over inflated food procurement contracts for the military had similarly triggered the resignation of Ukraine's defense minister, highlighting a long-running pattern of corruption crises within the wartime government.